to the Public Works Committee meeting, the March 26th. Now call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting an audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I ask that anyone else in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves to the record now by standing and stating your name and city of residence. Seeing no one, at this time I ask all electronic devices be placed into silent mode. Joined here tonight by Councillor Fleming and Schultz, myself, Councillor Cruz, and we are going to get right to the agenda as we have a city property meeting to get to in about half an hour, so we're going to do our best to get through this. So I'll go right to you, Commissioner Erickson. Oh, excuse me, we have to vote to approve the minutes from previous meeting, February 27th. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Seeing no objections, we'll pass on unanimous consent. It is approved. We'll go to the DPW updates. Commissioner Erickson.
Thank you, and I'll defer to Jeff Hillman, Superintendent of Streets, to give a Streets Division update.
Thank you.
So this past weekend, good afternoon, councilors. So this past weekend, with the ice storm that we witnessed, or I guess had, the DPW themselves, we worked 2 12-hour shifts. We worked Saturday and Sunday both. We ended up using about 800 tons of road salt for the weekend. So we worked diligently at that and made our repairs and should be all set. With that said, in the coming weeks, we are going to start street sweeping as long as the weather is cooperative for us. So that is our game plan starting April 1st to start in Ward 2, I believe, and then work our way through the remaining wards. Hopefully we're done. The anticipated schedule has us going to June. I'm hoping that we can finish that earlier. I've had street sweepers out in the country, more or less, working, trying to tackle some of that area to alleviate the mileage that we have to do. So we've been working diligent at that. We've been working on cleaning out some of our culverts, jetting lines, catch basins, getting our stormwater management back up to par. But yeah, that's pretty much an update for the streets.
And then in addition to that, just highlight a couple of important things for the water and wastewater divisions. So the water division has a Boulder Drive water main replacement project starting likely late April, early May. We're still waiting on our schedule from the contractor. As soon as we get that schedule, we'll distribute it to the public. And then on the wastewater side, our contractor, J.A. Polito & Sons, will be starting the next phase, actually resuming the combined sewer separation project that they're working on the western end of Main Street. They're anticipating to start April 1st. And that'll require a road closure Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. within the Greektown area. So it's not the same section of Main Street as last year. It's the western end past the roundabout. So Main Street to River Street will remain open at just that one area in front of Greektown that'll be closed during the week. So local traffic can use Goddard and Arlington Streets to route around the closure. And then one other important item to note is that Mass DOT will be starting their River Street Bridge Replacement Project beginning early May. Their plan right now is to keep the eastbound traffic direction open during construction to vehicles and pedestrians, and they will detour the westbound traffic direction around the work. So the westbound traffic will be diverted from Main Street to West Street to either Sheldon Street or Wallace Road, and then back onto River Street. And that project is anticipated to take approximately 2 to 3 years, so it's going to be a pretty substantial closure. And Mass DOT's Circle Street Bridge project is anticipated to be completed on July 1st. So that's a little bit behind schedule. Originally, it was supposed to be April 2024. Now they're telling us July 1st, 2024. We are looking forward to having that back open. That'll make the detour around the River Street Bridge project a little bit easier, because that'll allow for that westbound traffic to route around the bridge a little easier. Right. Any questions on those?
Oh, just a comment. It's interesting because I thought I had already heard that the Circle Street Bridge would be done by July. So I never heard April. So, okay.
I mean, they've been telling us July for about a month and a half. So I think during our last meeting, I had given you guys the heads up about
okay, maybe that's
July.
what it was. Okay. Thank you.
But last year around this time, they were telling us April 2024. We were hoping that it would have been open for in time for graduation for Fitchburg High. Obviously, it'd be nice to have graduation at Crocker Field. So,
Actually, I had it in my notes. It was April.
Yeah.
Last time you gave the update.
It was April.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so it has changed since then. That does it.
Yep, that
Just wanted to hit the major highlights, major activities. So like I said, as soon as we get the schedule for the water main project on Boulder Drive, we'll distribute that. And likewise with any future combined sewer separation work.
Thank you for the update, Commissioner Erickson and Superintendent Hillman. I think our constituents are going to like the street sweeping is going to start soon. That's a big one for our constituents, at least for myself, at least in Ward 6.
We've already started in Ward 5.
Yeah, we're still using a lot of sand. Oh, yeah.
We did use a little bit of sand this past year. During one storm, we actually almost ran out of salt, so we had to pivot to sand. And really for the icing events, when it gets really cold and icy, sand is the best for the hills. You know, we're trying to transition to all salt throughout the city. We've started in some of the flatter areas, but it's going to take a little bit until we get all of our equipment tuned up to the point that we can start running all salt.
Good to hear. Thank you. Is that it for the DPW update?
Yep.
Thank you so much. In that case, we'll get right on to the petitions for review, starting with 079-24. City Councilor Bernie Schultz on behalf of Orlando Jimenez of 507 Water Street to request removal of dying trees on Lancaster Street located above his home. Councilor Schultz, you care to make any comments?
Yeah, I visited Mr. Jimenez, and he showed me, we went up to Lancaster Street and showed me a couple more trees that are up there that are dead that could come down on his house. So he had one already come down last year and damaged his house, so the roof and the side of the house. So he's hoping that we can do something with those trees that are up there so it doesn't happen again.
So I just want to differentiate this particular instance. Lancaster Street is a public right-of-way that has been unimproved for many, many years. So it's an actual accepted public right-of-way by the city. We have a lot of instances in the city of paper roads, which are roads that were never formally accepted as public ways by city council. And we've had requests to trim and remove trees in those paper roads. This is different than those situations because it has formally been accepted as a public way by city council. So in this case, I think that the city is liable for these tree removals. One of the issues here is just budget. We've already gone through a pretty substantial amount of our tree budget this year, and Jeff's got a few more details about that.
Good. Mr. Jimenez, this is Mr. Jimenez, and maybe he could step up and tell us about the trees as well, what the latest update on those trees are. We're just discussing the petition.
Mr. Jimenez, would you like to come to the podium and speak on it? You don't have to. Okay. Commissioner Erickson, go ahead.
You want to just give us an update on where the tree budget stands?
Yeah, so right now we have about $20,000 available. With that said, we have approximately, we were talking earlier about the stumps, between the mayor and some of the other constituents who have reached out to us. So we have probably estimated about $5,000 worth of stump removal at this current point that we want to accomplish. So out of that $20,000, we have like $15,000 to play with. The rest of the funds have been appropriated to other things. So in order for us to accomplish or complete this task, depending on what is looking to be cut up there on Lancaster Street, we would like to see if the council can give us supplementary funds, because we're running thin on money to be able to complete the work task. And that $20,000 is for our tree budget for the remainder of the year until July 1st. So.
Thank you, Superintendent Hillman. Would it be, if we were to accept this today, would it be fair that it would sit in that log we were discussing, and when the funds became available, it would be something we could accomplish then? Or?
We could, yes.
Okay. So would it be an appropriate move to accept this at this point?
I think so, but it just needs to be done with the understanding that it's subject to available funds. So we've got that backlog of tree work, we've got that backlog of stump removal. It all comes out of the same pot of money, and we've only got a very small amount to last us till that July 1. Then it'll re-up, but we're only given a very finite amount to work with every year. So we would add it to that list and get to it as soon as that funding would allow.
Thank you.
I'd like to say, though, we do, so on like Kimball Street Extension along the granite wall, there's sections of trees there that I believe, per another petition, that was passed was to remove those section of trees, so that also is waiting for funding to be able to complete that task as well.
Yeah,
So,
that,
yeah. So
that's
we do,
along
we do
the-
have a backlog of work that we need to complete.
So we want to amend this to add, once funds become available, additional funds.
Well, I think this is more time-sensitive than some of the tree stump, like I've got a petition for a tree stump removal. I mean, this really definitely should be done before you take care of the tree stumps.
Some of the stumps were directed from the mayor, too.
Yeah.
She was asked us on Elm Street to take care of a handful of stumps, and other ones were done from Unitil's cleanup.
Okay. Is it safe to say that you guys will check out the tree or the stump in a particular area and determine which one is most pertinent and go from there?
That's
So it's
correct.
not necessarily first come, first serve, it's which ones need to come down soonest? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
I would suggest amending it to read pending available funds and other priorities, other tree removal priorities.
Do I have a motion to amend?
Motion to amend,
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to amend.
pending
zero-
available funds and other, what did you say?
Tree removal
removal
priorities.
Priorities.
'Cause we do have a backlog. Some of those are a little bit more critical than others, so we need to evaluate the criticality before we make a decision to kind of jump the line, so to speak, with this new request.
Okay.
Certainly, if one's already come down on somebody's house, I mean, I would hope that would be more of a priority than others that are not going to damage somebody's property, somebody's house that they live in.
Yeah.
All right, I have a motion and a second on the table to pass 07924, is that correct?
Yep,
As
motion
amended?
to accept as amended.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Seeing no objections, we'll take this under unanimous consent. Seeing none, it is approved as amended. Moving on to 083-24, City Councilor Bernie Schultz on behalf of the Church of God Pentecostal MI at 276 Water Street to request installation of rectangular rapid flashing beacons, RFBs, at the 276 Water Street crosswalk. Councilor Schultz, would you like to speak on the motion, on the petition?
Yeah, I talked to, are you Amy?
Amy Bernard.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you
Yeah,
guys.
this is the person that requested it. I talked to her on the phone. I didn't meet her in person, but I did go down there with Ryan Colleen and James Shea, and we checked things out. And I took that photo that you have in front of you. And of course, the first thing Ryan wants to have done is to have the crosswalk painted right away, because it is a dangerous road to cross. They have to. The parking lot is across the street from the church. You can see the church in the photo.
Yeah.
So, and that's why Amy requested the beacons. And we know that that's a longer-term project, of course, to get funding for those, but maybe eventually we can do something like that for that crosswalk.
Yeah, that whole corridor of Water Street is on the city's radar for, streetscape improvements, lighting, signage, sidewalks, et cetera. One question I had, I wasn't able to visit the site. I can see one detectable warning panel and ADA ramp on the church side. Is there the same type of ADA ramp on the other side?
Yes, on the other side, yeah, they checked that out.
So as long as that's the case, we can certainly get the crosswalk painted as soon as temperatures become favorable for painting.
Yeah.
With the RRFBs, they cost about $20,000 just for the equipment and installation. So again, this is a situation where our street light and traffic light budgets are pretty depleted at this time of the year. We've got some other higher priority items as far as traffic signal upgrades that need to happen with the remaining funds this year. I'm not sure if you've got any exact numbers with you, but my suggestion would be to approve this pending available funding as well. We just simply don't have an extra.
I don't know if we,
Okay, laying
Nick, if
around.
we need to actually put that on all the petitions, because we understand that that's the case, pending available funds.
I would agree with the gentleman from Ward 1. Are you all set, Councilor?
I just have a request.
I mean,
Councilor
typically, we're typically given $75,000 in our traffic light maintenance budget, and that's all of the traffic lights, RRFBs, anything flashing that operates throughout the city. So in any given year, depending on car crashes, lightning strikes, other types of failures, we could far exceed that $75,000. So it really comes down to when we'll have a little bit extra money to put something like this in.
And I guess as councilors, we should remember this at budget time, that we should probably look at those to try to see if we can talk to the mayor and so on to get more money in those line items.
I would agree. And also, during CDBG funding time, this would be a great CDBG project. I mean, this is something that we like to go after with that funding source, too. There's also other grant programs out there that we could pursue, and obviously having an approved petition helps us give more strength to a grant application.
Councilor Fleming?
And since there is a legal crosswalk there, you just can't see it, can we put something temporarily there, like a cone or something that alerts people, pedestrians, so they'll slow down a little bit, maybe?
I mean, we could put one of those, I think it says Mass State Law, yield to pedestrians and crosswalk signs. The thing with those is we put them out, and then within 2 weeks, someone steals it
okay.
and walks away.
Well, we had one that was in front of the library that was recently hit and damaged, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they get hit a lot.
I'm not sure if we have any in stock right now. We could order a couple and throw one out there.
All right, it's a suggestion till it could,
All right.
Even a cone might slow them down.
yes,
too.
yeah, that's what I
And
meant.
they're less expensive to replace.
Can definitely put a cone out there. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people don't slow them down on the crosswalk, which is the craziest part. But do I have a motion to approve 083-24?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Seeing no objections, we'll take this into unanimous consent. It is approved. Moving on to 084-24, City Councilor Bernie Schultz on behalf of Pam Lawrence of 566 Milk Street and Rosemary Reynolds of 570 Milk Street to request the removal of tree stumps from recently cut down city trees, and one stump in front of 566 Milk Street and the second tree stump in front of 570 Milk Street, and to also include sidewalk repair once the two tree stumps are removed. Commissioner Erickson.
I'd defer to Superintendent Hillman on this one.
So these ones we had, they actually came across my desk with the tree warden. He mentioned that he had flagged go out and cut the trees. So we were looking at stump grinding these. So same deal. When the funds are available, we can certainly make this happen. My initial thought was I could have these cut down or ground when we had the batch with the mayor. I guess I'm open if the council thinks these should be done at a later date. If some other ones take more priority over them, we can certainly do that. We can shuffle some things around. But that was my initial thought, was to have these ground when I do a batch in the coming day.
Would be agreeable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like that.
Okay.
I think they would like that as well. The other thing I was going to mention about that sidewalk, it definitely, the trees really pulled the sidewalk up. It's an asphalt sidewalk. And, when you think about Milk Street, that's right at the end of that street, Electric Ave in Milk, that's where the kids usually wait for the bus stop. At some point, it'd be nice to, that sidewalk, there's no connection. There's pieces of sidewalk all the way down to Ellis Street. There's no connection on either side. You got small areas of sidewalk, then you got grass, and then there's no complete sidewalk all the way down to Ellis Street. So it would be nice at some point if we could just get a continuous sidewalk on at least one side of the street, but something to look at some point.
Yeah, and that might be something that we could go after, like Complete Streets grant funding for, or something like that, just to provide that connection. I think in the past, there's been various sections approved through petitions.
Yeah.
So you've got these sporadic sections of sidewalk and then grass. I think some of them might have also been put in by homeowners over the years.
Yeah.
But it would be great to have one continuous sidewalk in the neighborhood for sure.
Yeah. Do you think I should put in a petition to have it on the radar at one side of Milk Street from Electric Ave to Ellis Street? We could.
I don't think it would hurt. I think the best time to do that would be if we're looking at repaving Milk Street.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the status of utilities are on Milk. I'm fairly certain there's no combined sewer over there, but I'd have to check on water main and gas and all that.
Yeah.
But that could be something that we look at as part of a larger road reconstruction project too.
Yeah, because it is a heavily used street, sidewalk, and so on, so it'd be nice to do something with that if we could.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion on the petition?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Unless there's any objection, we'll take this under unanimous consent. Seeing none, it is approved. We have one held petition for review, 256-23. Councilor Kuchar, on behalf of Brian Rufiange, to request the berms be placed from the intersection of Oak Hill to the storm drain just past 394 Franklin Road. I believe, Commissioner, you're going to go have a look at this and make a determination?
I have not had a chance to go out there and look at this. I'm not sure if you've had a chance.
I looked at it briefly with Google, but not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd recommend that we hold this till the next meeting, and I'll try to make sure to get out there and take a look at it.
Okay. Do I have a motion to hold 256-23?
Motion to continue to hold.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Seeing to hold, takes under unanimous consent. If there is no objection, seeing none, it is approved. There is no other business on our agenda for the day, and I know we've got to get over to city property. Do I have a motion?
To adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Seeing no objections, we are adjourned.